Red time, and for red time we get to discuss the story we read last time we were together. Do you remember Moonbear's pet? Yes, who were all the characters that was in this story? I'm going to open up the page because I want to remind you that we are learning about changes. We learned that lots of things changes all around us. People change, plants change, animals change, seasons change. Everything's almost always changing. Days change, years change. Some things stay the same, but some things change. And we learned that one of the characters in Moonbear's pet was a frog, and the frog changed. Well, when Moonbear and Little Bear first found the pet in the pond, they didn't think it was a frog at first. Do you remember what they thought it was? What did they think it was? They thought it was a fish, but it wasn't a fish. It was a, what do we call a baby frog? What's a word we could call a baby frog? We can call it a pollywog or a tadpole. You remember that word from the story Apple Pie Tree? There's also another part in the story I remember when Moonbear and Little Bear got into an argument. Do you remember what the argument was about? Their pet started changing and they couldn't decide who the pet was gonna look like. Little Bear thought the pet was gonna change into a bird. Why did Little Bear think that? But Moonbear thought the pet was gonna change into a bear. Why did Moonbear think that? So they got into an argument because they didn't agree with each other. They both thought different things. And as a result, they took their pet to the pond and they left the pet there for 1 whole month so that the pet can decide who it wanted to be. When they walked away from the pond, they said they didn't want to see each other either for a whole month. A whole month. At the beginning of the story, it was springtime. I'm going to read that page to you so you can see where I got that information from. One spring day while playing in the pond, Bear found a new pet. So in the beginning, it was spring. You remember what happens in spring? Remember the apple pie tree book we read? What types of things do you remember in that book about what happens in spring? I have the book with me right here. So I do know that in winter, the trees are bare, but in spring, what starts to happen? Leaves start to grow on the trees. Blossoms start to open up on the leaves. And eggs begin to hatch. The weather in spring is always changing. Some days it's windy, and some days it's really wet, and some days it's sunny. Spring is a time of the year where lots of new things grow. In this book, it starts out in the season spring, but when they decide not to talk to each other for a whole month, then the season starts to change into a different season. What season do you think comes after spring? Summer. Summer is the month that comes after spring. So when they met with each other again, it was probably almost summertime. Oh. So that's how the tadpole became a frog. It had enough time to grow and change. Wow. What parts of the story did you like? What parts of the story you didn't like? I didn't like to hear them argue with each other, but I really liked it when they made up at the end and they became friends again. They decided to all be friends. Look how much fun they're having now that they're all friends. I liked that part of the story. All right, you guys. Well, we will meet again in Blue Time. See you there.